Hello everybody. Today I come to you with a grammar lesson and we are going to take a look at conditionals. We're going to look at all of the conditionals from the 0 to the third conditional. In the description box below I have put the time references so that if you want to skip to a particular conditional you can do that. I know if maybe you have a higher level, maybe you don't need to review the 0 conditional, but it would be useful for you to review the second and the third, for example. But I would still recommend that you listen to the other ones because it never hurts to review them all. So firstly, let's look at the 0 conditional. And this is used to refer to general or scientific facts and definitions. The basic formula is if with a present tense, and then in your result clause you are also going to use the present tense. Okay, now it says here in the if clause you use a present tense. Usually it is the present simple, but technically you can use the present continuous here as well, and instead of if you can also use when or whenever, and it would still be a 0 conditional. Now, if we look at the result clause where it says present tense, just be really careful that this clause doesn't contain will, because we're talking in general. It's not a specific conditional like the first conditional. This is talking about general facts and situations. Let's look at some examples of the 0 conditional. If you mix red and white paint, you make pink paint. Okay, mix in the present and make in the present simple. Example number 2, cakes burn when you bake them for too long. So as you can see here, instead of if, I've used when. And don't forget that you can invert the clauses. You just have to be careful to remember which is your conditional clause and which is your result clause. But technically you can invert the clauses, and we do that. Okay, so let's move on to the first conditional. Now, this is used to refer to real conditions in the present or future and their real results in the present or future. And the basic formula for this conditional is if plus the present tense in your conditional clause, and then in your result clause, you are going to use will and the bare infinitive. Now remember, the bare infinitive is simply the infinitive form of the verb without to. For example, if your friend calls, I will take a message. I will bring the washing in if it rains. Okay, so I think maybe there's a possibility of rain here, and if it rains, I will bring the washing in. Now I have a little note for you here. You can also use when instead of if here, because remember the first conditional is referring to real or very probable conditions. So definitely when can be used in these types of conditionals. You can also use other modal verbs, for example, can or might or should. So this can change the meaning a little bit. Let's compare. So instead of saying if your friend calls, I will take a message, we could say if your friend calls, I can take a message. So here we are saying I have the ability to take a message if you want to, instead of saying I will take a message with absolutely no question about that. But again, even though you use can instead of will, it is still technically a first conditional, and that is also important to remember when you're using these conditionals. So let's move on to where it starts to get more complicated, and these are the conditionals that use the unreal past, which basically means that although we use a past tense, it doesn't necessarily refer to the past, and that's certainly true with the second conditional. Let me show you what I mean with the second conditional. So it's used to refer to unreal conditions in the present or future and the unreal results in the present or future. The meaning is not past, and if you get that in your head with the second conditional, that can really help just to accept that although we use a past tense, the meaning is not the past. That's confusing, I know, but stay with me. So we use if with the past simple or the past continuous in the condition clause. And then in the result clause, you are going to use would and the bare infinitive. Okay, for example, if I won the lottery, I would go on a cruise. I would learn to dance if I had the time. And again, you can see it's perfectly fine to invert the clauses. Now, just to go back to that use of the past simple here and why we do that. So we use the past simple to create a distance from reality. Yeah, this is an example of the subjunctive mood in English. So in some languages, they have a whole other form of the verb for this mood. And remember, it is a mood and not a tense. But in English, we don't have another form except for the verb to be, which is why we say, if I were you. We say, if I were you, not, well, you can also say, if I was you, but it's more like a set phrase to say, if I were you. So technically, were is not the past simple form of in the first person singular, in I. And there's just one more note that I want to add here. Again, similar with the first conditional, here in the second conditional, you can use other modal verbs instead of would, such as could or might. And again, let's compare that. So if I won the lottery, I would go on a cruise. Or if I won the lottery, I could go on a cruise. And basically that's saying I would have the ability to go on a cruise, but I might not choose to, but I could if I wanted to. And finally, what about when you really want to speculate about what happened or didn't happen in the past? Well, this is when you need the third conditional. Okay, and so we use this to refer to unreal conditions in the past and their unreal results in the past, which basically never happened. And so here we use if with the past perfect. So the meaning isn't the true meaning of the past perfect, but we're going to use the past perfect again to create that distance from reality. Yeah, we're in a parallel universe here with these third and second conditionals. And then in your result clause, you're going to use would or could have plus the past participle. Yes, so for example, if you had done that thing, you would have been in big trouble. I could have helped you if you had asked me. And sometimes what people get confused with in conditionals in general, especially with the third conditional, is that we use contractions a lot. And so that can be a bit tricky to think about, is it had or is it would? So if we look at the first example, contracted, that would sound like, if you'd done that thing, you'd have been in big trouble. Yeah, do you see how had and would contract to the same thing? They contract to you'd, and that can be tricky. But it's really important that you learn how to recognize that, because in reality, that is how people speak, especially with these long constructions like third conditionals. Okay, so these are all of the types of conditionals. I haven't spoken about mixed conditionals today. I will dedicate another video to mixed conditionals, but before you start thinking about mixed conditionals, it's really important to be secure with the second and third conditionals in their pure form, if you like. Now, an important note here is if you want some extra practice with these types of conditionals, I have put a link in the description box to a free worksheet which I designed. It comes with explanations, exercises, and an answer key so that you can check your own answers. Let me know in the comments though how you did, and you can also practice forming your own conditional sentences. That's a great way to get some practice writing it, practice speaking it. And if this video has been useful for you, please like it by clicking the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel for more free content. Thanks, and speak again another day. Bye for now.